Thank you. And thanks for being here. I know it's really coming to Lake Tahoe. So, and that's what I skipped there.
I missed the speaking part and just heard Tahoe for a few days. Yes.
So again, thanks, and we appreciate you being here. Again, I said that my name is Scott Chaplin, and I head up the sales and revenue for AvantLink. About 13 retailers that use our system, and a lot of corresponding affiliates, which we're going to talk about that term because the industry still has an adoption on the term affiliate marketing, but it's evolved a little bit. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But anyway, I'd like to introduce Constantine. And tell you a little bit about himself.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for having us. And my voice is a little hoarse, so just kind of bear with me. I've worked for AvantLink for about 7 and 8 years now. Started out in product and then went over to the business development side. And then recently I've moved into partnership and media development. So I'm taking everything I've learned working with brands and helping to yield and maximize everything we can to help publishers stay afloat, stay alive, really thrive. And before coming to AvantLink, I worked for advertising.com and AOL in New York City, where I was on the display side, the behavioral side, the targeting side, mobile, search, I mean, you name it. So I've been doing digital for a very long time. So just understanding how that ecosystem works has been a big piece of my success here at AvantLink. So thanks for having me.
Hey everyone, I think I met a number of you guys already, but I'm Tom Sweeney from AvantLink Bikes, and last few years I've been working in the outdoor industry or outdoor and bikes. Got into affiliates a few years ago when I was at Keen Footwear, working with AvantLink. So I learned a ton from their reps, super supportive, kind of showing me the ropes as well as a couple mentors, and kind of manage partnerships, paid media. The term partnerships is very loosely in every job description I've had, because that's what a lot of affiliate marketing is, and it's a really easy way to just send emails my direction. But yeah, kind of that's what I'm doing. Yeah, my inbox is, yeah.
All right. Well, let's just talk about where you started experience. Another really place to live, but to do this, we decided it was going to be us. So we're really aimed in the outdoor space. Those 13 brands and retailers I mentioned, 90% of those are somehow related to the outdoor, and the corresponding affiliates that we work with is about the same percentage, closer to 70%. In that realm. One of the things that's helped differentiate AvantLink over the years has been our desire to create authentic relationships from day one. So, retailers that we work with lots of different kinds of partners, including sites, loyalty sites. There's a lot of great reasons to use those, and we do work with all the people we work with. But over the years, our focus has been on developing content-rich partners that do reviews, comparisons, and a lot of great content, products, and so on. So it's worked out really great, and give all of those the option of who they want to work with. So it's very democratic, not authoritarian. So with that said, let's define performance marketing a little bit. We talk about affiliates. We talk about partners. We talk about influencers. We talk about investors. And each one of them to it. But we're called performance marketing. most of the people that use will work with more far to traditional affiliates, which are more review content creators, blogs, etc. Have a lot of influencers who have Instagram, Facebook, and other mediums, YouTube, for example. And so that's kind of the newer, and many of you already have brand ambassadors. So that's how the system works, is that all of these companies are third-party owned and operated websites that put links to these brands and retailers on their website. And when a consumer clicks on that link, it takes them to that brand's website. And when they make a purchase, they earn a commission, which is paid to them by AvantLink. And we bill that brand for that activity every month. So it's a really simple concept, but very powerful. So, Tom, what would you add to that definition for us?
Yeah, from the brand side, I'm tied to any spend I have has to have a certain ROAS target. So for me, performance is literally I'm paying you for the relationship to produce sales for us, whether it's flat fees or commission based. It's really that simple to me. We're literally paying you to help us sell bikes in this case. Yeah, it's just not that deep to me. It's pretty simple.
You like simple. Yeah, that's what the channel's all about. And I always tell people in a self-deprecating that I'm not the sharpest knife in the AvantLink drawer. So it's good that it's a sort of business. Would you agree, Constantine?
With you being not a sharp tool, I think you're
Yes. No, give us an expanded definition.
So I think like performance marketing is interesting. I think performance is the result of. I think it really is about the relationships. I've been in sales for a very long time, and I've never sold something or snake oil or something that someone doesn't want. It's really about building trust and building relationship, and how and performance marketing is essentially a measurement, one of many, as a result of that relationship building. So it's not only with the brands, but also with your clientele, your customers, or your readers, and being super authentic. So I think it's a outcome, a positive outcome of really thinking about the relationships that you hold dear and near to your heart.
Kids' idea of who's here today. So, how many of you guys were content creators in the room? So, lots of people. And Kevin, how long have you been doing that? Yes. So it's new, right? It's been there. It's just really in a lot of ways getting new legs. Who else? 16? Oh, that was awesome. How many just started as you? Wow, nice work. Okay. Any brands in the audience here? Oh, you're working both angles then. Awesome. Okay, that helps us a lot. So define performance marketing, but how do you see publishers and affiliates working best to get your message out?
Yeah, communication is the biggest one for me. Every partner is going to need something a little different. So some want to hear from you maybe once a month, or they'll reach out if they need anything. Others would like to know weekly updates and can I get a rack for this, or can I try this? Or are there any product updates? Can I chat with someone in the R&D team? And you guys already have the trust with your audience, and that's what we're trying to leverage with the partnership. So from my end, I've found with working with sales reps or content creators, if you're upfront about like what your audience size is, your target audience, we can make a decision on my end of like, does that fit what we're looking for? Is it the audience we're going for? Is it the reach we need? That way I can give you the honest answer of, I'd love to work with you, but like my budget won't allow this flexibility, or awesome, like let's figure out a plan. I prefer not to do a one-time thing. So a longer term project as well with whether I know, just because I saw you, Gear Junkie is one I've worked with across multiple companies now of, they're really good about, it's not just a sponsored post, it's a little bit of support on the social side, the homepage. It's usually a couple of weeks of a campaign. That's kind of how I like to do it. And then understanding what you guys need out of it. So yes, money is a big thing, but also you're using this to expand your content or produce more. Because at some point you just need something else to write about, or video, or that kind of thing. So we both have needs, figuring out how they fit, and that's kind of like the relationship building piece of, yeah. For everything I've done has been hard goods. So whether it was like outdoor hiking shoes and boots, or it's been bikes. So nothing digital for me right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mike, what's your take on great ways to message from the brand side through the affiliates?
So, say that again.
So what do you think a great strategy is for implementing the messaging that somebody like Tom is trying to get out to the audiences?
Yeah, and he just called me Mike because my first name is Mike, but my middle name is Constantine. It's a transition that some of my coworkers are having a little struggle with. So just same person. So, I think there's like I'm calling them the 4 C's. It's collaboration, counsel, community, and contribution. And I feel like if publications can go to brands and really think about like what are some things that they can do and what are things that they can talk about within those 4 buckets. It's really important. Like collaboration it's more than just a link. Like the link is it's a tool, it's a piece, it's measurement, it's like payment and stuff like that. But it's like, how are you really collaborating with a brand? How's a brand to collaborate with you? Counsel is really around asking for mentorship and asking like to create a container and invite those brands in. And you can even do that with your audience as well, like client advisory board or brand advisory board, whatever you want to call it. Community, being part of the community is really this idea of stewardship and leadership and contribution. Like, what are you really offering? Like, what are you offering from your audience, your environment, your brand? It's like thinking about like, what is that contribution? And then within all those, I thought Jim Walls did a really good job of speaking to that idea of like real, like raw, engaged, authentic, and leadership. I think in all 4 of those C's, real is very, very present.
Thanks, Mike. So, like you said, this is so. Thanks for your question. So I have a question for you. How do you think performance marketing has changed over the last few years? Because I think it's pretty evident that it has.
The access to the tools to start your own YouTube channel or blog or podcast or any of those, it's way more accessible. And with the pandemic, everyone had a lot more time. So there's been a lot more creators that have come around. And then whether it's Meta or TikTok or Google with YouTube, there's a lot of ways they're asking for content and paying out that way as well. So I think that's been the big one, is that it exploded with the access to it. And then with whether it's iOS updates or Meta or Google's updates, they're chipping away at some things and making some things better. So I think that's the big change, is just massive access for people to create. And then companies like AvantLink are able to help kind of cast the net a little wider. So your inbox isn't 5,000 emails of, can I get a bike? I want to write about it. Maybe it's 200 emails. But then we can go search on AvantLink or get messages directly through there to like help tamp that down a little bit.
So before you go, the thing we can talk about with our platform in particular is that we have this vetting process that we put all of the affiliate partners through in order to just get on the platform. So it dramatically helps that situation that he just talked about. 5,000 people coming in looking for a free bike to review, stuff like that. We're looking for serious partnerships.
Yeah, I mean, affiliate performance marketing has changed a lot over the years. I mean, it used to be about, oh, I have all this excess inventory. I need to just dump it and sell it. Let's use a coupon site. Like, let's just slash pricing. And that was certainly a model for a while, and it's still a model. It's one slice of a very large angle. I think we've seen a lot more intention around the affiliate model, where content creators working on like a base model, and like affiliate was like a commission model. So I think a lot of change is like a base and a commission. I think both of those can be really prevalent in content creation and affiliation and performance marketing. And then certainly too, it's not, like I said, it's not just, you know, the what's been happening in content for so long is definitely started to happen in the affiliate and the performance marketing channel, which is reviews, guides, coaching, stewardship, counsel, leadership, opposed to just being like, oh, I'm just going to put this link up and kind of see what happens. There's like a lot more intention involved. And see it from the brand side too, like brands reaching out to content creators and saying, hey, we want to release a product. We want to release it through this avenue. We want to increase commissions. We want to, we want to pay for content to be created and then provide you this performance on the back end. So I think there's been much more of like a hybrid model over the years, and a lot more intention and a lot more content creation, where in the past it just been like, I'm just trying to move excess product. Yeah.
One thing that I know about is the vaccine or exercise. Smaller things, I don't know. My whole goal is for a year to get and keep people moving. I have to look at different things outside different types. Now there's a number that 802,000 people. That's now everybody out. Everybody. Maybe you can get people. They don't stop out the news. So, do you have any recommendations? That's really important.
I get a lot of those requests, and like I would love to be able to support everything like that, but a lot of it is like senior leadership willing to discount. At our brand, we don't do a lot of discounting, so we have coupon sites because it's a tool. If we do have an offer, I have someone to broadcast it with, but it is usually like even a huge publication like Hearst Media, bicycling.com. They're not getting exclusive coupon codes. In some cases, we've tried it with influencers because they want something to like help drive the sale. But for like a high AOV item, it's not an immediate purchase when you see the content. So if you have like a blog that goes along with it, that goes a really long way of boosting your numbers. Yeah, so like yeah, and even pitching like can we try for a limited time, or is there anything coming up? So if someone reaches out and I know we have a promo coming up, like free accessories or an extra battery or something, I'll usually tell them ahead of time and just say, hey, don't share this until X date. That way, at least you have like the blog post or social post ready. So it's not me sending the AvantLink email out. You get it that morning and then the promo's live. So we try not to catch everyone flat-footed because it's me being a bad partner if I do that. But I don't have a great answer because we get a lot of those requests, and even I usually get the no from leadership.
It's trying to introduce people to different things.
Mhm.
Like, give them consensus and
Mhm.
Two questions. We are going to take questions at the end, though, too, in case we run out of time.
Right. Between you and a brand? Yeah, I mean, and Tom could probably speak to this as well, but I would certainly say it's like the level of relationship that you have. Like, are you connected with them? Is your conversation going back? Is it collaborative? And just like, placing that as an invite out there and just see whether or not you or the brand step in to have like either never been done before, or is it that like you could be stumped on content? What are content ideas that they have that you'd be willing to like kind of maybe work with and run with? How are they supporting you in the content that you're trying to create? So, I mean, it's a sliding scale and it's to each his own. I mean, you could always go back to dollars and cents, but I think it's also like really, it's not about working with every single brand. It's not working for who's going to give you the best commission. It's like, who do you really want to work with? It does not have to be every brand under the sun. And like really trying to find allegiance to those brands that you have, which you've maybe have had for a while on a branding perspective. But now it's time to talk about like branding and performance and how do you blend the two and how do you get compensated on the long tail content that's been around forever. During the pandemic got resurged, which was around like exercise. And so we saw a lot of publications that had content created that still had affiliate links in it years later, still being able to make royalties off that information. And, are the brands like receptive? Is Tom or anybody else like receptive to researching content, revising it, or looking to make new? Yeah. I hope that helped answer the question.
I have like an overall target for all my channels. Affiliates are really fun because you can set the ROI essentially with the commission rates. It varies though. There'll be some partners that you are significantly higher commission rate, and maybe they're not producing as much sales, but like their content is excellent. So we want to pay them for the quality that they're putting out. It varies. I have some that the ROI is not great, but they're an awesome partner. They put out really good content. We trust them to do the things like wear helmets, show responsible riding. There's a lot of e-bike specifically. There's a lot of vagueness around all the laws. So if people are abusing it and going too fast on trails or where they're not supposed to ride, there's a lot of signs going up that say no e-bikes. So partnering with those types of people that'll get our brand value messages out and also help us not get restricted as much. But it varies. Like some people are going to be really, really high. And the floor for me is a 4x rise. Yeah, and with like affiliate ads, so if someone pulls a banner ad in, they're not getting paid by the click, so a lot of them have started using Google instead. So some are still using it because it's their affiliate link attached to the banner, but they're also finding other ways to monetize different pieces of their site. But yeah, the floor for us is 4, and then we have some that are 15. Like, those are ones that they like their emails get answered quickly because they're low maintenance and they do excellent work. Yeah.
Is actually higher than what he's even looking for. So it's really a great performance channel. Last year we talked about the affiliate channel in the realm of sort of a content renaissance that we've seen over the last few years. Tom, what kind of percentage, if you don't mind, do you think you have seen in the various programs you've worked in between content and other kinds of affiliates partners?
At Keen, so once the new leadership sees how efficient of a channel it can be, they really want more out of it. So at Keen, we started at like 8% of DTC sales and grew it to like 16 before I left. The previous company was the same way, where like they thought about 10 was a good number, and we hit 22 when I was there. And and now we're here at Aventon. It's the same thing. I think it's like 26, 27 for DTC.
Mm.
We have a huge dealer network as well, but because you can make it as efficient as you want, we have an uncapped budget on it. So I don't have to have the conversation of we overshot the budget by 30 grand, but it's an extra $1 million in sales or something. It's like a fun conversation to have, but you still get the why did you go over budget? So we just have it uncapped because it's as long as I hit the certain ROAS floor, I just kind of can do whatever I want. It's great.
What brands are doing in terms of the breakdown between the different types of partners and a movement more to content in recent years?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a movement. I don't know exact the breakdowns, but definitely more of a movement towards content, like how to attract them into their programs, how to reach out to them, and then also just like understanding, like we're seeing PR teams who represent brands really trying to get into the affiliate game and understanding how it works or managing it for their brands and looking at it as like another arrow in their quiver as to making themselves more competitive when they're reaching out to publications, because they realize like a lot of kind of I would say the staples of affiliate, like gear guides and gear reviews and stuff like that, like really have defaulted into more of an affiliate model. So, and it can be the same person or one person removed as to who their contact is at publication. So we definitely see like them wanting to expand, brands wanting to expand different vehicles or channels or resources they have into understanding the affiliate model and how to reach out to publications through that channel as well.
Just to of the power of the affiliate channel and its place in the kind of omni-channel world, if you will. You know, we work, like I said, with 1,300 great brands, but some of them are obviously more notable, like Patagonia, REI, et cetera, et cetera. One such brand is Stanley, which was founded in 1913. But that company has really found a way to be cool and relevant. And so they have a lot of really great influencers, one of which a lady named Danny Austin has around 2 million followers on Instagram. And they did a promo with her on their product update on their Crusher, Quencher, as I like to call it. And this influencer pushed $3 million in sales for Stanley in one day with a almost 20% conversion rate. And so that doesn't happen every day, but it is a powerful, powerful tool that if your company isn't using yet, it needs to really take a look at. And to that point, how do you find working with publishers is fitting into the overall strategy in omni-channel for you guys?
Yeah, like Constantine said, the PR teams and the paid teams are super close. I have meetings with them 3 times a week now because a lot of times the lines are so blurred. Subscriptions, like magazines and stuff, aren't being sold like they used to. So even an editorial article, I can't influence their content on the editorial side. I wouldn't want to because it's their audience. They have the trust with them. But all of the links are going to be affiliate links a lot of the time now because they supplement the subscriptions. So especially for something like e-bikes where it's a high AOV, we spend a ton of time and effort into content partners and publishers because the industry itself is pretty small. And then brands in the industry like Aventon, I think one person so far has known what it is when I've introduced myself on this trip. So like it's a matter of like me hitting up the paid teams and the PR team talking to the editors and sometimes vice versa as much as possible till we're the ones sending all the emails out to try to get into the placements, and especially the big guys like a Wired or CNET, Bicycling and Hearst. We have a relationship with them already, but it's a huge emphasis. It drives a lot of what we do and supports all our retailers too.
when you're talking to prospective publishers and media companies, Constantine, what are your thoughts on the channel and how it fits in?
Like where affiliate does or where performance does?
Performance.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's definitely one slice of the bigger marketing angle. It's never really overshadowing, but it's like, how does it fit in? What messaging should be created specifically for that channel versus being echoed across, like, if they're holiday or they're, different temples throughout the year, just not forgetting about the affiliate channel and making sure that information is being disseminated as well. But then also figuring out how can you do some uniqueness in that channel, whether it be an increase in commissions or a bonus or different type of content. It's been very important to the overall matrix of just like what they're doing in the affiliate or what they're doing in marketing as a whole.
One of the trends that I noticed is the companies up front performance because they can track it. And that's again the power of the channel. When it comes to decision time, it's going into deciding if you're going to do placement, or you do a slot replacement with the option to have commissions on sales and so on. Thinking through that process.
It's essentially risk. So if I have to pay 50 grand for a flat fee placement, a lot of times it's going to be an awareness play. So the return isn't going to be for, one was probably the best expectation. So if I'm going to pay a big flat fee, I'm super vocal about it to leadership, to what to expect or what set different goals. I love a commission increase because it's an incentive to the creator, and less risk to me, selfishly as the brand, because I'm on the hook for every dollar I spend. So that's kind of it, is the risk reward of, I'd love to give everyone 10 grand to go write content for us, but I have to then explain why I've given everyone a bunch of money, and some of them are going to bomb. I've definitely spent some money and had zero return on it, but you just kind of learn, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and that trend is carried over the big media players. Right, Constantine, we're looking at companies that you would traditionally define as mass media, so like a CNN or CBS or CNET, Men's Health, stuff like that. World adjusting, and I see a lot of them coming to the affiliate channel, right?
Yeah, I mean they're either coming in directly to the affiliate channel or using even like sub affiliate networks, which are just basically like yield optimization tech to, essentially what they were doing in the ad network space, where they're defaulting remnant inventory and having it be bid on. Same thing, though. Either they can work with these sub affiliate networks that will plug into AvantLink, and they will help yield some of that inventory, and making those decisions of like what brands to work with and price points and stuff like that. So it's about efficiency, but it's also great to see some of these larger publications getting more involved in the idea of working with brands directly, because I think everybody is realizing too that like it's not just about putting a banner on a page or having it has to be authentic. It has to come from an authentic place. And to do so, like, it really is just writing objectively and like, or creating content objectively. And sometimes the brand's a fit, sometimes it's not. Sometimes, even the reviews aren't necessarily have to be even favorable. But it's really about like the whole ecosystem.
Okay. Tom, if you had to define a breakout performance for you or past companies, how do you define that for you guys?
Usually around a spike in sales. Honestly, since my whole job is performance, we've got a partner that has maybe an eighth of the traffic of some of the big the big authoritative reviewers in the space, but produces sales almost on the level of like a Hearst Media. He's just one guy, does great reviews, super relatable, and like produces just awesome content on a regular basis. But his site traffic, if like one site's getting 1 million, he's literally getting at like an eighth of it and just kills it for us. And it's just been a relationship building with him. He's high touch. He wants to know everything all the time. He's just super excited about it. So his enthusiasm is definitely driving, I think, a lot of his performance because he loves e-bikes in general. He does it for a lot of companies, but it just comes through in his content and it performs incredibly well.
Sounds like a David and Goliath kind of situation there.
Yeah, and I mean, we all got imposter syndrome, and he has it. He's vocal about it, and I've showed him some of the numbers of like, you're killing it, man. Like, your content's awesome. We're super happy. And he's one that we've increased commission on, and just want to make sure that he's happy with us because he's got choices as well. There's a lot of competitors now.
Awesome. Well, Constantine, what is something that you're currently working on or seeing in the channel that really excites you these days?
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing around with this idea, and we've talked to some editorial staff about it as well. But like, really, this idea about like, you know, content creation being expensive and it being used on the brand's pages as well. So we've been working on this concept called like performance content, where instead of it being the traditional model that like a partner will create content on their experience and then send traffic, you know, it's all consumed on their page, and then that traffic is sent over to like a brand's page. Is the content actually living on the brand's page and it being compensated on a affiliate or structured commission model? So, you know, it can be teased on a editorial page, but then the content is really absorbed on the brand's side. And then also just like we talked a little bit about this idea of like a drip campaign, or if you're doing email and you're sending out information about a product and then also seeing the click go across to the brand's page, but you're not seeing any actual conversion. It's also like that loss of collaboration and partnership being seen with the end customer. So how can a outside affiliate have content like either be tone or font or color? How could that also be living in some kind of ecosystem on the brand side so that there is continuity going across? It feels like you haven't lost the customer in the partnership. And really exploring that with both brands and publishers around how can content be created on a brand side that is tied to a performance model as well, and the incentives that could be there from traffic, the incentives for the content, you know, driving sales and being able to attach to an ROI, opposed to just being like, well, we're paying $1 per word and, you know, you get what you get for that. But really, how to put skin in the game and get an editor or a writer to really be part of that ecosystem of performance. So it's changing a little bit of the model of like how performance marketing or traffic or linking has been done. So it's really kind of the wild, wild west. But right now, we're really having a great time and really open conversations with both sides of the equation, both the brands and also the editors or the writers or the content creators. So really excited about that.
Thanks. It's you guys are doing that excites you guys in the performance space. Anybody? You're going to get mic'd.
Okay. I'm actually working on that model myself. I didn't know it existed out there in terms of, what did you call it, performance content.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting and exciting. And what I want to know is what that's looking like for new brands and new content writers. Like, because again, we need more folks in this space. So how can we really create accessibility? So how can we define that model in a really articulate way so that people can jump in and see how they can participate?
Yeah, I mean, it's being developed right now. So I think it's like a gestation of like actual just experiences and conversations with brands. I mean, smaller brands figuring out how to come up with budgets. This is especially for content creation, whether it be for SEO or backlinks or just like, you know, inspiring people that are hitting their blogs and their pages to drive deeper into their e-commerce environments. It's really associated to that performance side. So I mean, we could definitely talk. I could share with you kind of the collateral and the messaging that we're using on our end. And, you know, there's been some people are like, well, love the idea, but one, it pushes the exit really far down the road. And I don't find that to be necessarily true. I think that content can still be teased by the publisher. It just doesn't have to have its full format on that page, right? So you can just push people across, and then time spent on site is happening on the e-commerce side. We want time spent on site, higher conversion possibilities. So I think it's not really a hard sell through. It's just understanding like what's the right commission structure there and how long does a brand want to pay for that in perpetuity? Probably not, but there's probably a window that can be, you know, addressed and figured out. But again, it's like figuring out a combination between base and performance. And, you know, Tom said like a lot of his dollars have to be tied to performance. So it's just not closing the conversation, but it's actually opening it up in a new possible way. So let's definitely talk more about that and what that would look like.
Awesome. Okay. Question.
Tom, this is just a term clarification. You something, and I'm not sure if I got it right. High AOV, something about content that's you're not expecting a conversion at. What was the term, and can you define it for me?
Yeah, so our price of our products are $1,000 to $2,000. So for the, I'm not in that tax bracket of if I see an influencer riding a bike, I'm not going to click the website and buy it on the spot. So a lot of times the process to like the conversion journey can take 60 days. So whether it's researching review sites, seeing a lot of bikes look the same to people. So which one's the right one for me? Checking out the best of lists. That's what I mean of like, it's not going to be a quick conversion. Like, yeah, maybe I'll buy a pair of shoes that look cool or a pair of boots or something. But if it's a $2,000 purchase, like you might have to talk to like your significant other or like budget for it more. AOV. So our average order value is high, or our just average product. Like our average order is about $1,600, and then our return customer spends about $300. So we have a really high return customer rate. Usually they forgot to add racks or something like that, so we're not doing a good enough job telling them, hey, if you're going to use this to go to the grocery store, you might want panniers or something else to make life a little bit easier. So that kind of stuff, yeah.
All right. I would say that affiliate marketing is this concept, but there's a lot to talk about. So if you are a brand or retail and you have questions, let me know. If you're an affiliate partner, influencer, ambassador, get in touch with Constantine here. You can help you. And if you just want to talk through strategy, things like that, let's get in touch with you. And we're thankful that you can, and we really appreciate it.